funny story. My doctor, I was about 14, maybe 15 years old. He told me in front of my mom, and this is an exact quote, that if you don't do something very drastic very soon about your weight and your health, you're going to have life-threatening issues related to it for the rest of your life. And, so I started doing, little cardio kickboxing classes up at the UFC gym in Las Vegas just to kind of get started in that. And then my first Muay Thai coach was one of the trainers there, and he kind of, I caught his eye a little bit. He invited me to come train with the MMA team, and the rest is history. I wrestled at Green Valley High School here in Las Vegas for a couple of years. Oddly enough, that's actually where I met Coach Casey. His daughter used to wrestle on the same team as I did, along with Derek Rayfield. He used to come watch me compete all the time. I told him how much I wanted to train at 10th Planet, even before I knew that he was running these locations here. And, he was gracious enough to help me get set up here, and he got me started here when I was about 260, 265 pounds. I'm walking around at about 195, 200 right now. So, I've always, it's always been a second home for me. Anytime things are going wrong in my life, work's stressing me out, bills are coming up, this and this and that, I know Casey and 10th Planet Las Vegas are always going to be here. I'm always going to give you my best. If you're going to beat me, that's a big question, if you're going to beat me, you're going to need every single ounce of your strength, of your energy. You're going to be throwing up at the end of it. You're going to have to earn this shit. I'm not fucking giving it to you. No easy taps, just all clean kills.
There's a lot going on with the game right now. A lot of it's evolving and everything. I'm going to see what business opportunities present itself. I moved out here for business reasons. I don't take jiu-jitsu like a hobby. I take it's a strict business to me. This is my end game of what I want to be as my job, whether that's in the future being a good instructor, but for now it's an active competitor. So I moved out here with Las Vegas being probably the biggest market and the biggest hub for combat sports, and I want to be out here and make a lot of noise. This will be my first tournament competing out of the 10th Planet, and I look to keep my 100% submission rate that I'm carrying this year so far. I'm a jiu-jitsu player that finds weaknesses in his opponents, and currently I just see weaknesses in the leg locking game. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm a leg locker. I love leg locking. I love going after leg locks. Especially in an absolute bracket, I feel like my quickest way to finish people is just going right after legs. I'm not going to waste time on the feet or anything, as even though it's not one of my strong suits, I would say that inverting and getting to legs is my strong suit. But I think it's became that because I've seen weaknesses in opponents in competition, especially at the heavier weight classes, competing 200 and above. So it's more so exploding holes than others, and that's what I look to do on the 16th too. I go for the kill. I go after submissions. That was a big emphasis of mine this year, was just going in there and not leaving anything to chance. I think this rule set suits me really, really well, with it being sub only. I have 18 wins with 18 submissions so far this year, and I'm looking to keep that going. I'm not in there to go a decision or anything. So when you're in there watching me, you're gonna see a lot of high level play. I work and drill endlessly for the submissions I get, and everything I get is extremely calculated, and I see way before it happens. So I'm excited for the rest of the world to be able to see that too, what I've been seeing the last couple of months. I want to keep the momentum rolling. I just want to be absolutely as active as possible. So whatever presents itself after this, I'm gonna keep looking at tournaments that present a little bit of cash. I just wanted to make this my job. I'm looking for stuff that's going to have a good reward to it, but just being as active as possible. If ADCCs keep going after August, I'm going to do a lot of ADCC opens. I'm willing to travel as much as possible, but honestly, just being active and then getting in brackets like this where I can face some of the best people in the world, that's really what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to test myself against the best people in the world, whether it's brown belts, whether it's black belts, whether it's trials winners, whether it's future trials winners. I want to go against everybody. I don't only want to see where I stand, but I want to start playing myself. That's part of why I moved out here too. I wanted to take that next leap, that next level, going against the best in the world. So that's what I plan on doing for the rest of this year.
I started off in a small town called Norco, Team Sequence Jiu-Jitsu. It's more of an MMA jiu-jitsu school, so we did a lot of grappling for fighting, but also with traditional jiu-jitsu mixed in. So I always loved to do both. Was there for 7 years, got my purple belt. Went over to San Diego, trained with Clark Gracie. Kind of got my first touch of like the more modern type of jiu-jitsu training for the gi especially. So a lot more gi training there. not as no-gi heavy, but I still love to do both. And then most recently, August 2022, came up to Irvine and originally joined Art of Jiu-Jitsu, but moved on to here at OC RTC. And basically for the last 2 years, I've been doing only no-gi. It's kind of been where I've had the most success in my career, and I honestly love no-gi in terms of just the scrambles, transitions. I think my game is much more suited for it. So now I'm putting my focus and all my attention into my division. I would definitely say my style is sub-heavy. I love to play both bottom and top. On top, I like to mix it up with dynamic outside passing and few pressure passing. On bottom, I'll go for leg locks, sweeps coming up with the wrestle ups. So I like to really try to have an overall, all-around game where I know that I can feel comfortable wherever I'm at, whether I'm getting smashed on bottom or elevated on top, taking someone's back, under side control, mount, whatever it is. I try to train for all aspects and not really get too cornered into, just a leg locker or just a guard passer. I try to mix it up so that my guard passing goes into my leg locks go into my wrestle ups, my wrestling goes straight into submissions. But the goal in my mind is always looking for the submission right off the bat. And obviously, according to whatever the rules are for my competitions, I'll modify it for that. But I'm always looking for the submission. So if you ever look at my matches, you'll pretty much never not see me, going for a foot, an arm, a neck, just trying to break someone.